All right, PC 23.2 number 5 talks about using graphing technology to determine things like the vertex, axis of symmetry, direction of opening. So we just went through how to use the graphing calculator to determine these things. So let's give this some practice. So what we're going to do is we're going to get our graphing calculators out. And I'm using the TA83 here, obviously, today. If you have an application at home, something like that, TA83, that's great. It'll look just like this. If you're using Desmos or some other application for your phone, then it might be a little bit different. But anyway, so what we're going to do is we're going to get to y equals first. Y equals. If there's anything in there, you should clear those other things away.
Mr. Maxwell.
Hello.
Are we putting this question into our homework?
Yeah, 5 is part of your homework now. Yeah, absolutely. It always was. I was just going to help you with it today. So yeah, so number 5 is part of your homework. So yep, that's there you go. Now you want to follow me along. That's awesome. Okay, good. Okay, so we're just typing this in here, and 3x squared plus 7x minus 6. That's going to be the first one. So we know a lot about this just by looking at it, right? We know the x-intercept is going to be negative 6. We know it's going to open upward. We could calculate pretty quick where the axis of symmetry is going to be, where the x value of the vertex, negative b over 2a, so that's negative 7 over 6. All right, and things like that. So we know a little bit about it. Let's see what the calculator has to say. Now if you hit zoom 6, that gets you to a standard window, and then there you go. Lots of times your parabola will be right on the screen there and you won't have to adjust any settings. Sometimes though, you may have to go into the window and adjust things. So let's just say I want to see more of the bottom of this. So I'm going to extend my y minimum. I'm going to make that a little bit a larger absolute value number, I suppose. So something like, let's say 20. So that will stretch this down a little bit, so I'll be able to see this a bit better. Okay. Now, if you wanted to zoom in and just zoom in general, you could do that too. Do zoom, and then look at number 2 is zoom in. So you could just do zoom in, and you can actually adjust where you want the center of the zoom to be. That's what this part is about. So zoom in, make your center kind of wherever, and then hit enter, and it'll zoom in to that spot that you set the cursor to. Okay. Now, the problem is here, it zoomed in too much. So adjusting your windows manually might be a better situation, because I want to see the vertex and the intercepts real well. So I'm going to go back to this 6 here, and we're just going to go from there. Okay, so I can see an intercept there and there. All right. Identify the vertex. Okay, so we talked about this already. The vertex is going to be where you do second function calculate menu. And because it's a parabola that opens up, you want to select minimum. You want to find the minimum value of this function, so number 3. When you do that, it will ask you to tell it where the left boundary is. So I have, the minimum is down here, so I want this cursor to be on the left side. So I can either bring my cursor, hit that until the flashing cursor is clearly to the left of the vertex. It doesn't matter how far. So I hit left bound, and a little marker shows up there. This is the left boundary now. And then it'll ask for the right boundary. So I just kind of move my cursor over until clearly the blinking cursor is to the right of the vertex, and I hit enter once again. And you'll have another little marker there that you've now set your right boundary. Now you can move your cursor over to where it's close to the vertex before you hit guess, but most times you won't need to do that. Just hit enter one more time. The cursor should be, okay, this is a little tough to see, but the cursor should blink right here on the vertex, and it'll show you the point. Okay, so negative 1.17, let's say. So vertex, negative 1.17, comma, what is it? Negative 10.08. 0.08. Now we said that the vertex we were guessing was going to be negative b over 2a. We know that from before. And so that was going to be, we said that was negative 7 over 6. So negative 7 over 6 as a decimal is this right here. Was there a question over there? No question? Okay. Okay, so for domain and range, domain for parabolas is always XER. Always. There are no restrictions for the X. So this is vertex, domain equals, put your braces there, XER. Okay. What about the range? Okay, what's the range? Well, the range is going to be either greater than or equal to some y value of the vertex or less than or equal to some y value of the vertex. So obviously this opens upwards, so the range is everything above the y value of the vertex. Here's the y value of the vertex. So the range is going to be y is greater than or equal to negative 10.08. And yes, you can use the decimal here because it's graphing technology, blah, blah, blah. Decimals are fine when you're using graphing technology. Okay? Oh, I missed axis of symmetry. Sorry. Axis of symmetry is simply x equals whatever the x value of the vertex is, right? Negative 1.17. Oh, I skipped a whole line there. Sorry. Whatever. Okay, so we got vertex. We got axis of symmetry now. We've got, oh, direction of opening. Missed that one too. Opens what? Well, up, right? Because A is positive. Good. Got the direction of opening now. Domain and range we have. Maximum and minimum or minimum value. So obviously we said that this opens up, so it has a minimum. The minimum value is y equals, again, this value of the y value of the vertex. So the vertex is super important, right? It's for lots of stuff we need that for. So a couple notes again, axis of symmetry has to be x equals, it's an equation of a vertical line, so don't just put axis of symmetry negative 1.17, okay? Not full marks. It's got to be an equation of a vertical line. The minimum value, don't give me the vertex point, don't give me the x value, I need y equals the y value of the vertex. Okay. Okay, max, min, got that. And any intercepts. Okay, here we go. Let's go back to this. Any intercepts. I need a y-intercept. That's easy to find. We'll do second function trace to get to the calculate menu. We'll hit 1 for value. And I'll just type in 0, right? Where x equals 0, that's where my y-intercept is going to be. And that's going to be negative 6. Negative 6. So, y-intercept. Get used to writing this as a point. 0, negative 6. X-intercept. We have 2, don't we? So let's write these both as 2 points here. How do we find those? Well, here's where we... Now, it looks like you could probably guess, but we don't want to guess. Not with the graphing calculator. So let's do this quickly. Intercepts, we talked about in the last little section here. We're going to find the 0, right? So second function, calculate menu, 0. Hit number 2. And you're going to have to go through this left-right process again. So let's find the left intercept first. So I'm going to go over here. That's the left boundary for this left intercept. Enter. I'm going to go through this a little bit quickly now because we've been through this a few times. Enter and then enter again. And so it's going to show up there. Boom. Negative 3, 0. Perfect.
Mr. Max,
Hello.
if you click the left down like round,
Yeah.
how do you go back?
Just go second function, calculate menu again and start over if you do something wrong. That might be easiest. Okay. So we're going to do this again. Second function, calculate 0. So number 2. And I want to find this one over here now on the right. So let's just plump in numbers like x equals 0. That could be my left bound. You see that? It might be a little bit easier. You can see that. And then 1, 2, 3, 4 is definitely beyond the intercept for the right bound. So you see how I just did that? That might be easier than using your cursor. And then just go ahead and hit enter for guess. There's only one intercept between those two boundaries. And we have 0.6 repeating, comma 0. 0.6670. Or that'd be 2/3 or whatever, but 0.667, you can round it to 2 or 3 decimal places is good. Usually 2 decimal places, I guess, is fine. So those are the x and y intercepts. Oh, nearest 10th, it says. Nearest 10th. Okay, fine. So 0.7 then. 0.7. Anything else? I guess nearest 10th here, these should change as well. So again, if it says nearest 10th, so that it lines up with what you check in the back of the book, you can write it like that. Okay? Okay, any questions from you guys here? Up, minimum, axis symmetry here, domain range, vertex. Okay, so I tell you what, why don't you go ahead and do B right now. Do B on your own. Take a moment, use your use your calculator you have there, your application, whatever you have in front of you, and go ahead and do B and find all those things for B, and I'll show you the solution here. So to get you started, you want to go to y equals, clear this, okay? Clear this off so you don't have more than one function messing things up. And then go ahead and start typing. Now, I mentioned this earlier. Let me just, this is the last thing before I'll let you just gonna go here, but please note that your calculator treats this as a minus sign because it's this minus this. This is a negative. So what I mean by that is at the beginning of a list of numbers here or of a polynomial, you have to put negative. That's this one down here, negative. If you interchange those, your calculator will not like you. So negative 2x squared plus 5x plus 3. So that's how you get started with that one, okay? So go ahead, use the calculator to find the intercepts and your minimum, maximum, domain and range, all that sort of stuff. Go ahead and do that. Okay, so as you finish up, here are the solutions here for that for 5b. So let's check that out here. If so this parabola is what this looks like. Should look like something like that on your screen. The maximum feature should have 1.36.1, I guess, as your vertex. Axis of symmetry is 1.3. It opens downward. Maximum of y equals 6.1. Domain is XER. The range is y is less than 6.1. And the x-intercepts are negative 0.5 and 3. The y-intercept is 0, 3. Write those as points. And y equals here. Okay? So please return your calculators to the bin. I have it up here. Thank you. Any questions, you can let me know. I have a few minutes here after class if you need it.
Do you know of any specific app for